She could have floated a very long ways.
This is a different search strategy than what we're used to. So it says no fingerprints were obtained from the victim's left hand because the decomposition of the body had caused the skin to slip from this hand.
All right, we'll see you guys in a couple hours. Let's see, that storm's coming in. Perfect, like right near the highway, it got deep. Who knows what we are gonna find? The year is 1984. Tom Phifer and his girlfriend Kay Hollis left Denver, Colorado in their 1972 Ford Pinto, traveling from Denver down to Grand Junction, right along the Colorado River. Now, Tom and Kay vanished along with the vehicle. Kay was found in the river 15 days later by citizens who noticed her floating in the river. We also know that the sheriff has stated that he believed that Tom and the vehicle were also in the river as well. However, searches conducted shortly after turned up no trace of Tom and or the 1972 Ford Pinto. And that's what brings us here, right outside of Grand Junction, Colorado, today in our search for Tom Phifer in his 1972 Ford Pinto.
For families who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. Civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
I think this one's going to be a challenge for you.
So what we have coming into this, we have what we've been able to look up online, which is we know her and Tom disappeared out of Denver along with the Pinto, and she was found 3 days later, I believe it was May 21st or 22nd, in this region.
I can tell you, May of 1984, this river was legitimately running 10,000 cubic feet per second at the state line. A lot of this would go in the water like we are right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Now where Ms. Hollis was actually recovered was on the other side of Grand Junction. Her body was first reported in the river at 28:19, and then they didn't actually recover it until it got down to 24.
So it says no fingerprints were obtained from the victim's left hand because the decomposition of the body had caused the skin to slip from this hand.
She would have been in the first peak float of decomp, because the body will float twice, but that first, being as though she was in that stage of full
15 days after they.
Yeah. So she could have floated a very long ways with that much decomp inside of her, the gases and stuff.
One question that I have is, do you have any advice for us as far as known locations along I-70 where vehicles used to maybe go in the river from accidents?
Well, so right here, just below the park, on the other side of the shooting complex, the canyon gets very narrow, and we have accidents there all the time. At the time, there probably wasn't much of a guardrail system there, but anywhere just south of here, all the way to the edge of Palisade, would probably be legitimate places to look. And then up here by Beavertail Tunnels, a lot of narrow canyon there that would have been right up next to the river.
They could have gone in the water miles upstream, miles upstream. If it was a 100-year flood and you had 10,000 cubic feet of flow for that year, we might be searching all the way to Denver from here.
Yeah, and what that says is, and not to be Mr. Negative, but it could very possibly well be buried. If we come up empty-handed, we come back with a magnetometer and we'll be able to tell if something's buried or not.
This is a different search strategy than what we're used to. They're traveling along an interstate, they're going all the way to Grand Junction in the middle of the night. All the rain coming down, it could have been cold. We're almost at 5,000 feet here.
There's a lot of river to search, and I'm really eager to get out here and see if we can't find that 1972 Ford Pinto. All right, we'll see you guys in a couple hours. Tuck right in along this rock face over here. Let me put the sonar in so we can see how deep it is. Still only 2 feet right there. Depth right here is like 3 feet. 6 feet right here. We're in a little back eddy right here. Going 4 miles an hour, so even in these small rapids, if it was deep enough, we could scan really good. Three feet. It's reading 7, but it's just so low. This case is turning into being a bust, as far as us being able to search it and being a resource for it. What happens if a case is a bust, meaning we're not able to search it? It's important for us to tell the story. It's important for us to get the word out that there's somebody missing. Try to somehow figure out how we can search for it, if we're able to. I can tell you right now, running I don't even know if you can run a magnetometer in here. It's so shallow. It's just really discouraging. That's all. Because I want to search. I want to find somebody. But these are the things that we don't know until we get here. And the fact that it's too shallow right here doesn't mean it's not deeper in other places. We're just in the prime location for where the vehicle should have gone in if it went in. Doesn't mean that the vehicle's not buried. I mean, that silt back there, that river bottom was so soft. Like it was like a slime. And even the sheriff said that the silt bars, the sand bars like move so often. So what we have is things getting buried, things getting shifted, channels changing. These are things that we don't know until we get here. You know, a lot of times when we do, some people might watch this and say, well, you should reach out to locals and try to investigate as much prior. Yes, that's a fair statement to make. However, that has been so unreliable for us in the past when we rely on what a local tells us about a waterway. Oh, it's too shallow, and it ends up being really deep. Or they say, oh man, it's really deep, there's all types of cars in there. And we get there and it's really shallow and there's no cars. So, I mean, we can't base everything we do strictly off of what a local tells us ahead of time. We still have to come here, we still have to put boots on the ground and see for ourselves. We have to rule it out for ourselves. So, 2.5, 3 feet. I can definitely see a vehicle becoming buried in here in the months that he went missing. So in the months he went missing, and you have, 10,000 cubic feet per second flowing in here, you can easily add another 10, 15 feet to this river, minimum. I mean, maybe 20, 25. The sheriff was giving us a gauge of how high the river was where we were standing in that campground. He said it was completely underwater. So you're definitely 15 to 25 feet difference. And when you have that kind of depth added to this, a car can hit the bottom, and then it's gonna constantly, the second it hits the bottom, it's gonna start catching stuff on the side of it. It's gonna start catching trees and silt and build up, and the next thing you know, it's gonna become a mound of silt and debris. and it's gonna disappear. We're at 7 feet. Just dropped.
That's encouraging.
That is. Really good readings, and we're going 2.7, which is perfect for scanning. And it's starting to come back up. 4 feet, 2 feet. I gotta put these back up. That storm's coming in. It's hard to tell, but it's really dark back there. It's coming over that mountain range. I didn't want to get caught on that side over there. So we did get down to 10 feet right there in that corner.
Yeah.
Big, big boulders. It's perfect, like right near the highway, it got deep. That's what we needed to see. Hard rock bottom right here. Who knows what we are gonna find? These rocks just stick out like a sore thumb. Anything man-made is going to pop right out. After several hours and miles of this river, we've only found one section that was 13 feet deep, and that was at a 90-degree turn, which is gonna be deep when the river is constantly eating away at it on that curve. And truth of the matter is, we're full of water. We're full of water in here. We have a lot of electronics that we cannot abuse like this. The conditions that we're in are very unsafe. Some of these rapid areas are, in the grand scheme of things, not big, but this river is just way too shallow for us to search. We have to keep our safety. We have to keep all of this amazing equipment safe. We can't afford to buy this. We're lucky to even have it. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have it. So we're gonna have to call this, unfortunately.
Given that this is so shallow across here, the next deep sections is going to be that corridor that we talked about, Beaver Tail Mountain Tunnel, those two S curves. I think it's going to be deep there.
The mysterious disappearance of Tom Phifer 39 years ago is going to remain unsolved for now. However, if there's anyone out there that knows anything about Tom Phifer's disappearance, and or if you know someone that may know something, come forward, reach out to the Mesa County Sheriff's Department and or us at support@adventureswithpurpose.com. And if there's any of you out there that know someone that's missing out of your community, or if you're an agency that's watching this, reach out to us and let us know if our resources can be a great avenue for one of the cases that you may have. Support@adventureswithpurpose.com is how you can submit cases, and we look forward to all the emails that come in about missing individuals. Please, that is how we get our cases.
We would not be able to be out here on the road with the gas prices the way it is without your support. It really means a lot for you to subscribe to watch our channel.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have to hit the road to our next case. Although Jared's not with us, how about we end this one the way Jared used to end them all? Later, bye-bye.